Happy Saturday, Colorado. This is Brandon with your weekly roundup presented by freestatecolorado.com. Every week I take a look at some headlines, news stories, and articles from across our great state. This is a special Labor Day edition coming to you down here from Pueblo, Colorado. Getting ready to go to the state fair here in a little bit. So let's take a look at some headlines, see what's going on in our state of Colorado. So you probably heard this news story if you're anywhere near social media or just watching news. Fox News article here. Marxist teacher who called for forceful cultural revolution lands seat on state legislature. Tim Hernandez said, I am absolutely advocating for a cultural revolution. Yikes. This is from August 28th, 2023. A Marxist teacher from Colorado who called for a forceful cultural revolution against whiteness was voted in by Democrats to fill in an open House seat of Representatives Saturday. Tim Hernandez was selected as a state representative for the Denver area by a committee of Democrats tasked with filling the vacant seat after its incumbent, Serena Gonzalez Gutierrez, was elected to the Denver City Council. Hernandez worked at Aurora West Preparatory Academy in the Aurora Public Schools District, according to its website from May. Their staff list has since been scrubbed, and it was unclear if he continues to work in the Colorado District. A sign in his classroom called for dismantling white systems. Wow. Fox News Digital previously found that Hernandez went on a Marxist diatribe at a protest organized by unions. So you can see some of his photos here, some of this guy's greatest hits. Here's a little tweet from him. I'm not interested in teaching students to perform whiteness well. I'm interested in creating powerful people. Some flags in his office there. And am I denying the freedom to uphold white supremacy? If so, I'm in favor of that denial. Forceful cultural revolution. Let me make a quick word to everybody in here who believes they are communists. So we'll see how radical this guy ends up being in the state legislature. It further demonstrates how far left the Democratic Party of Colorado has gone. I think voters are primed to reject this radicalism. I mean, this is extreme thought where these people want to totally take over our society, and more reason than ever for people to get involved in your local political scene. So we'll keep an eye on this guy, see what happens here in January as the legislature reconvenes. Let's move on. From the DenverGazette.com, thanks to TABOR, Colorado works for everyone. From Jesse Mallory, August 27th, updated on August 27th here. Legislative Democrats have been scheming to kill Colorado's Taxpayer Bill of Rights, or TABOR, since before it was added to the state constitution in 1992. Hardly a year goes by without a bill, proposal, listening tour, or lawsuit hatched to enable state legislators to spend money. TABOR denies them. Now they're at it again. Jesse Mallory's hitting on a great point here. These legislators in the state government want to do everything possible to take away our tax money, to steal more money out of our pockets, and how shameful it is during these hard economic times for greedy politicians to want to steal more of our money. Let's get back to the article here. This time, they've proposed a Rube Goldberg ballot initiative called Proposition HH. Some of its superficial details might seem novel, like lipstick on the proverbial pig, but it's only the latest gambit in a political long con that has gotten very, very old. That's why the bill creating Proposition HH was only passed in the last hours of the 2023 legislative session to avoid public scrutiny and debate. That's why Proposition HH's fans, including Governor Jared Polis, are so cagey about it would actually do, talking up property tax relief while pretending to know nothing about the redistribution of TABOR revenue to Democrat priorities. And that's why Americans for Prosperity and Americans for Prosperity Colorado Issue Committee have joined up with more than a dozen citizen groups in a new coalition to protect TABOR and fight Proposition HH at the ballot box in the state court this year. What politicians and their special interest allies are not telling you about Proposition HH is that it will eventually eliminate TABOR refunds. Those are the same refunds they expedited last year to ensure they arrived before the last election, saying that citizens desperately needed the money. To add insult to injury, Proposition HH will also allow local governments to keep money owed to you without voter approval. Now politicians at the local level can now vote to keep your money. Proposition HH removes you from this conversation. Wow. You got to check this article out, and you really got to spread the word that Proposition HH is a bad deal It's a bad deal for everybody in Colorado. Hurts especially renters, people on a fixed income, and just working people all over who are going to lose their tax refund. So reject Proposition HH. Check this article out. Just another great editorial coming out, really exposing the nefarious agenda behind Proposition HH. Let's move on. Well, if you were anywhere on social media this week, I'm sure you saw this article or news story or video about this 12-year-old Colorado student kicked out of class over his Gadsden Flag patch on his backpack. So this is from the postmillennial.com. This was their update from, let's see if they show when it was from, but earlier this week where the school let him come back in with the flag. So here he is here. Pretty iconic picture of him looking at his teachers, one of the teachers' bumper sticker laden cars. Of course, total leftist propaganda all over the back of their car. That's allowed in the school parking lot, but of course, patch on his backpack is not allowed. Also, this is from August 29th, 2023. Update here. So, the Vanguard School District has issued a statement backing the student and the historical significance of the Gadsden flag and its place in history. VSD and the district have informed the student's family that he may attend school with the Gadsden flag patch visible on his backpack. So there's Charlie Kirk talking about it. So, yep, original story. Here we go. On Monday, the student was kicked out of class at his Colorado Springs charter school. Now, what's unfortunate about Vanguard is it's a charter school. It's not even general public school. It's also associated with Hillsdale, which you would think would be a relatively pro-American type of college and school system that they'd set up. But unfortunately, a teacher following policy didn't like seeing the Gadsden patch there. So after a small Gadsden flag patch on his backpack caused concern among administrators. The 12-year-old, identified only as Jaden, was told that the flag violated school policy regarding the displaying of symbols that refer to drugs, tobacco, alcohol, or weapons, and that he had to remove the patch if he wanted to return to class. A great picture there. The reason we do not want the flag displayed is due to its origins with slavery and the slave trade, an administrator said during a secretly recorded meeting with Jaden and his mother. Just Connor Boyack posting that video. So of course this kid, has seen a lot. He's read the Tuttle Twins. He knows his American history. Jaden's mother said it has nothing to do with slavery. That's the Revolutionary War patch that was displayed when they were fighting the British. Maybe you're thinking of the Confederate flag. She went on to slam the school for exercising a double standard when it came to political symbolism, with Jaden adding that many other children display patches on their backpacks and are not punished for it. So pretty good stuff. Really nice to see that kids maybe are starting to stand up. Parents, at least, are pushing back against the radical leftist teachers, like the guy we saw from Denver who's now in the state legislature. So good on Jaden and his family for pushing back a little bit and standing up for themselves. Of course, we need to see more of this type of thing. Well, let's go ahead and move on. Another Colorado public school in the news this week from Fox News here. Diversity teacher says he wants to, quote, burn things down. Wow. For equity agenda after staff trashes his DEI class. The Colorado diversity teacher said, I just want them to understand some terrible things white people did. August 28th, 2023. Folks, if there's ever there's no better time to pull your kids out of school, if at all possible. Get them out of these government schools that are nothing but propaganda factories, indoctrination centers. Get them into homeschooling. As you can see, even the charter schools aren't always that great. A Colorado public school diversity teacher said in private emails that he was struggling with the urge not to burn things down, which didn't represent equity, according to records reviewed by Fox News Digital. Casey Menninger is a diversity teacher in Jefferson County Public School District's Foster K-8 school. They have a diversity teacher in a K-8 school. Menninger was involved in crafting the curriculum for other teachers to present to their classes. Menninger wanted classes to be focused on the bad things done by white people. I will have a quick presentation for 8th grade in the next couple of weeks. I just want them to work on some of the communication skills and understand some terrible things white people did, he said in an email in January 2022. His emails obtained by public record request show that staff were not completely on board with his equity class, and they were talking trash about him. The meetings are very difficult, he said in an email dated August 2021, trying to impact change in a positive way. But it's very hard to not want to burn things down that I don't find equitable. So, I mean, these are your teachers. here, unfortunately, in Jefferson County schools, where I went to school. These teachers who really want to just focus on a racial agenda, which is not healthy for society, if you ask me. So there you go. Let's move on. Denver Post. Denver Pest, as I like to say, from August 29th, 2023. A new poll came out. We'll take a look at the poll as well. Coloradans' top concerns: cost of living, housing, environmental issues, and homelessness, poll says. So no surprise there, of course. Let's actually take a look at the poll instead of reading the Denver Post spin on it. So here's the poll. You can find that link, of course, on freestatecolorado.com, as well as at the Denver Post article. So in this annual poll, they reached out to 2,000 something people here. Top concern, I think this is no surprise to anybody. In your own words, what is the most important issue facing Colorado right now? Open-ended question. Cost of living and inflation, 16%. I mean, that's something that everybody can agree on. Cost of living, inflation, life is getting more expensive. It's getting more difficult. We have to work harder just to afford the same things we could afford yesterday. Housing affordability, 15%. Government and politics, 13%. Geez, no shocker there. These divisive politicians pushing a wedge through society. Homelessness, yeah. Public safety and crime, yep. Water, overpopulation, growth, overdevelopment. Wow. Jared Polis and his lackeys need to take a lesson from that, trying to push these zoning laws. Climate change. Of course, we've had some terrible fires. I'm sure that ties into it. Economy and jobs, guns, gun violence, gun control, education, environment, and the list goes on. So, of course, that cost of living, inflation, housing affordability, is really the top concerns, and that does tie into homelessness and crime and in government. So really, those are what I would recommend if you're running for office. That's what you need to be talking about. If you want to have some influence and really speak to the average voter, then focus on the cost of living, inflation, affordability. I mean, that's ultimately one of the most important things that's affecting everybody in our state. So take a look at that poll for further detail. But let's go ahead and move on. Homeless overdoses in Denver reaching all-time high 3 days ago. From original.newsbreak.com. Several Denverites asked the city council Monday to move forward with opening an overdose prevention site in the city. Thursday is National Overdose Prevention Day. Advocates for drug users say illegal injection sites, also known as overdose prevention centers, have tremendous track records for saving lives. They quoted local, state, and national statistics about overdose. Nowhere are overdose rates higher than among homeless populations. In Denver, the number of deaths among the homeless population so far in 2023 has spiked to more than 50% compared with the number recorded at this time last year. So yeah, it's very unfortunate. So far here in 2023, 166 people who are homeless have died, 53% increase from 108 at this time last year. Wow. So it's pretty sad. Now, is it because there's more homelessness? What about the homelessness per capita? I mean, we've seen previous weeks an article about how the homeless population has gone up by 30%. So to see a 53% increase, I guess it is a little bit out of the norm, but nonetheless, not too surprising. What is of concern, of course, not just these poor people dying on the streets, but also this idea of legal injection sites. I don't necessarily, it's a tough issue, I guess. I understand where they're coming from. They want to help people not lethally overdose on drugs, but at the same time, providing, normalizing, making it easier for people to do inject drugs into themselves with less fear. Is that really going to incentivize people to stop using these drugs? Is it going to create more drug users, or at least make it easier for them to be drug users? I mean, is there such a thing as a safe injection? So I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily going to solve the problem that they're seeing. And of course, we've seen this happen in other places, California, Canada, for example, where now the next step after this, of course, would be safe supply. They're providing a safe supply, this subsidized drugs to the actual public to make sure they're not getting bad stuff. So that's where this goes. It goes to bad places. So not going to be a solution, in my opinion. Let's go ahead and move on. Continuing with that homeless theme for another article here, downtown Denver businesses say revenue losses are mounting as encampments engulf streets around them. Yeah, no surprise there, right? Mercury Cafe, Triangle Bar, British Bulldog, Cheese Meat Board, LAZ Parking all report revenue losses, uptick in crime as the city in Denver struggles to control encampments around them. Well, of course, not a surprise there whatsoever. A growing list of, this is from August 29th, 2023, a growing list of downtown Denver businesses say their sales are in a downward spiral because of a growing line of homeless encampments surrounding them on almost all sides now. 2 weeks after Denver 7 exposed the issues with growing encampments at Broadway in California, business owners say the issue continues to scare away customers and potential employees. They're scared, said Denny Newman, owner of Mercury Cafe. They're uncomfortable. It's hard to get people motivated to walk through that. There's no direct way to park to get to our entrance without walking through a homeless encampment right now, said Scott Coors, owner of Triangle Bar on Broadway. Business owners here say attacks are also becoming more frequent. Denver 7 obtained video of one incident caught on camera as a man tried to steal a woman's bag, dragging her violently on the sidewalk near Broadway and 21st as she held on for dear life. In the video, a man then comes to the woman's defense and is able to defuse the situation and get the woman her bag back. It's everywhere, said Mark Brezens, owner of British Bulldog. We had another assault in front of our bar where a passerby was hit with a baseball bat just this past weekend. So very unfortunate. What are these business owners supposed to do? I mean, eventually it's going to just say they have to move out and cede the ground to the homeless, unfortunately. I mean, what else can they do at this point? And where safe injection sites or some of these other plans being put forward can actually make a difference. We'll see. Let's move on. From the westward.com, talking about the Independence Institute, great local organization here. August 28th, 2023, Independence Institute training Coloradans who lean right to infiltrate local politics. The Independence Institute wants right-leaning Colorado citizens to quit yelling and complaining. Instead, the libertarian-leaning think tank, aimed at enhancing personal and economic freedom, is calling for action, specifically for more people to get involved in local politics. Good. This is a program you should definitely sign up for. Catherine Chandler, manager of the Institute's Coalition and Future Leaders program, has been running the Local Government Project, which teaches nationally minded Coloradans about government at the local level and how to infiltrate it. Infiltrate's the right word there, totally loaded language from the leftist westward. While the Independence Institute is a nonpartisan organization, the people who attend Chandler's classes typically lean right, she says, but the curriculum takes a page straight from the Democrats' playbook. The left tends to get involved at the local level, Chandler told students during a class on August 24th. That's why we have all these policies that are not necessarily bent towards personal and economic freedom. They tend to build that permanent political grassroots structure. They bring lots of people into the discussion. They have a broad tent. So this is something you should definitely consider. Sign up for one of these local government project classes that Kathleen Chandler puts on. Get involved in your local government. If you've been following anything I say, it's really to get involved at that local level. Don't waste your time focusing on the national level politics. Let's go ahead and move on here. Another sign of the times, very unfortunate here. Just wanted to bring it up because seeing patterns like this, I think, is important to talk about. 9news.com, 16 car thefts, break-ins in church parking lots in Jeffco under investigation. So August 30th, 2023. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office said Wednesday it is investigating a string of car break-ins and thefts in church parking lots in the southern part of the county. Between May 1st and August 29th, there were 16 break-ins and thefts at 12 churches that all shared similar characteristics. The sheriff's office shared a map of the churches where the break-ins happened, while adding that investigators have not confirmed they are related. Definitely something to keep an eye on. If you go to church, if you're just out in the community, really pay attention. It's very unfortunate these thieves are breaking into cars at church parking lots. I mean, absolutely crazy. But be vigilant. It's about a community response to some of these problems. And, this crime can't be tolerated. That's ultimately what it comes down to. Let's go ahead and move on. DenverPost.com, why Denver police quietly stopped using no-knock warrants. So some good news here, in my opinion. This is from August 30th, 2023. Denver police haven't served a no-knock warrant in 3 years. The police department quietly stopped using no-knock warrants in 2020 amid a nationwide outcry against police brutality and push for criminal justice reform, police records show. That year, then Chief Paul Pazin informally changed the Denver Police Department's policy to disallow no-knock warrants in narcotics cases, an adjustment formalized in 2021. That policy shift essentially ended the department's use of no-knock warrants, though they are still allowed in exceptional circumstances. So I think that's a good thing. No-knock warrants where police can enter without first identifying themselves as police is a pretty bad idea. If you're sitting at home and you're just hanging out, all of a sudden somebody kicks in the door, maybe they have a wrong address, maybe somebody called in a swatting call, as they say, where people are falsely reporting on a situation in your house, and police kick down the door, you don't know who they are. I mean, it could lead to really tragic consequences. So good on Denver police for stopping you doing this no-knock raids. All right, let's move on. I thought this was interesting. DenverGazette.com, August 31st, 2023. Cryptocurrency accepted for Colorado driver's license renewals, other DMV services. Coloradans seeking to renew a driver's license or vehicle registration online have a new payment option, cryptocurrency. The Colorado Division of Motor Vehicles announced Thursday the agency was pleased to say MyDMV is now accepting cryptocurrency through PayPal for online payments. At the DMV, we're always looking for ways to better serve Coloradans and leverage technology to offer our services. It's a better ways to take our money, make it easier for people to pay money, and of course, move us towards a digital currency. Coloradans can now select PayPal cryptocurrency as a payment option when paying for driver's license, identification card, vehicle registration, or other DMV services online. Well, there you go. So kind of interesting to see this trend continue, but of course, not the best use of Bitcoin, in my opinion, but nonetheless very interesting. Let's check an article from the GreatCompleteColorado.com, page 2.CompleteColorado, from Natalie Menten, good friend and local liberty leader. Local governments can lower property taxes on their own. So this article just came out on August 30th, really kind of dismissing the false claims of Proposition HH, and really focusing on true property tax relief and where it comes from. To the article. Whether the hideous hoax Proposition HH passes or fails at Colorado's November ballot, local governments, including towns, cities, special districts, and schools, must lower their 2023 mill levy this fall to avoid taxpayer suffering in January 2024 when tax bills are sent out. In each Colorado local government, there are elected members. Those elected representatives set and vote on the mill levy for the respective districts in October or November each year. When the elected bodies meet to set the mill rate, they take public comment. I would suggest reaching out to your elected representatives before the meeting. After the body votes, they notify the county assessor of the tax rate by December 15th, 2023, and that's what gets charged on the 2024 in January property tax bill. So nothing stops these local governments from lowering the mill and refusing to lower the tax rate. And refusing to lower the tax rate is to purposefully do financial harm to residents. Such an action, or perhaps inaction, should be reason for recall from office. Local elected officials should not dare to suggest they support affordable housing if they won't lower the local property tax rate. Yes, 100%. So take a look at this article. It's really important, as we saw earlier, get involved in your local government, find out who your local representatives are, and really demand that they lower the mill levy rate in their local community. This includes city council, county commissioners, school boards, special districts. Get involved, speak out, and make sure they commit to lower property taxes, lower the mill rate. All right, let's move on. So I thought this was interesting. August 29th, 2023, westward.com. Colorado reproductive health advocates plan abortion ballot measure for 2024. Now, you may be asking, Colorado is already one of the most pro-abortion states in the country. So what can they possibly be doing to get on the ballot? What can these pro-abortion advocates want more than what they have here? Well, I'll tell you. The Colorado Reproductive Health Rights and Justice Coalition is preparing to end the state's prohibition on public funds for abortion care and codify abortion protections through a ballot measure in 2024. That's really what it comes down to. They want to end the state's prohibition on public funds for abortions. So not only have they made abortions up to the point of birth 100% legal, protected, in Colorado, but they want public money, taxpayer money, to fund these abortions. I mean, this is absolutely insane. Regardless of what you think on the issue, you should say public money, tax money shouldn't be going to this no matter what. Absolutely nearly crazy. That's all I'm going to read from this article because these people are just totally mental. Well, let's go ahead and move on. CPR News, August 29th, 2023. CPR.org, local NPR affiliate. Of course, funded in some ways by taxpayer money. Appeals court upholds temporary block on Colorado gun law, rules in favor of Rocky Mountain gun owners. So, of course, as we reported in the past, Rocky Mountain gun owners sued the state to stop them enforcing the 18 to 20 gun ban. And Governor Polis and his little lawyers are pushing to keep that gun law going, unfortunately. So the appeals court thankfully stood up for Colorado gun owners. Colorado's age limit for buying rifles will not increase to 21 anytime soon. A new law to raise the age limit was blocked, again, by federal judges on Tuesday. The decision from the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals means that the 21-plus gun law will remain on hold as the larger court battle continues, perhaps for a year or longer. A district court judge issued the injunction blocking the law in August, the same day it was supposed to take effect. Governor Jared Polis's office filed an emergency motion asking the appeals court to temporarily allow the 21 to purchase limit to go into effect while the state appealed the decision. But on Tuesday, 10th Circuit Court of Appeals judges Carolyn McHugh and Nancy Moritz denied the request. Gun rights advocates argue the higher age limit is unconstitutional, especially under the Supreme Court's 2022 Bruin ruling. Normally, these things are fairly slow moving, said Taylor Rhodes, executive director of Rocky Mountain Gun Owners, the gun rights advocacy group behind the lawsuit. We're going to file a motion to essentially turn the preliminary injunction into a permanent injunction so we don't have to go to trial, he said. If not, we suspect a trial will be in the next year. Both of the judges who made the latest ruling were appointed by Democratic presidents. In response to the appeals court decision, Polis continued to defend the new law, pointing out that Colorado has banned people under 21 from buying pistols since 1968. A loophole allows kids under age 21 to legally buy a rifle instead. This new law, approved by the legislature, closes that loophole, and Governor Polis hopes that the courts agree with him that the law is fully consistent with the Second Amendment and reduces confusion, wrote spokesman Connor Cahill in an amendment. I mean, absolutely insane to say that the Second Amendment's a loophole. Jared Polis should be ashamed of himself. He's no libertarian. He's trying to deny the rights of people under 21 but over 18. Thought this was great on Twitter. The Fire Alarms Policy Coalition, another great gun rights organization, made this little meme where the Second Amendment, Jared Polis says, "Is this a loophole?" Totally confused, absolute idiot. A loophole allows kids under age 21 to legally buy a rifle instead, of course. So Governor Jared Polis says that the Second Amendment's a loophole towards his anti-gun agenda. So I thought that was kind of funny. Last article of the week, and really just something, an event coming up here. A good friend of mine, Mattheus von Guttenberg, is going to be giving a speech about revisiting libertarian ethics. So if you're at all interested in meeting fellow liberty-minded individuals, this is going to be Wednesday, September 6th at the Independence Institute, 6 p.m. on Wednesday, September 6th. So hope to join, hope you're there. I'll make it. Should be really good. Mattheus is a great presenter, and I'm sure we'll have good information, and maybe we can have some good debate about political philosophy, about ethics, and have a couple drinks while we're at it. Libertarianism is built on its superior ethical theory. Its principles are what separates us from every other political philosophy. In increasingly political times, it becomes easy to forget the values that brought us all to the great ideas of liberty. That's why Mattheus von Guttenberg is coming back to give us a review of libertarian ethical theory, focusing on the key tenet that holds these ideas together, the non-aggression principle. Meeting at the Independence Institute, not at Choppers, where they used to meet. Doors open at 6, talk starts at 7. Drinks will be provided. Anyone is welcome to bring their own food or food to share. So check that out on meetup.com, Liberty on the Rocks Denver. Of course, the link will be on freestatecolorado.com as well. But thank you very much for your time. I got to go get ready for the state fair here, and appreciate you joining me this week. We'll see you later.